Hey, what is up, mortals? It is Trina here with a new video for you. Welcome to the Season 4 finale of What If Deku was given the 6 Paths Power. I just wanted to greet you guys by just saying, sit back and relax. You're in for a treat. So we begin. As the broadcast began, the high ends ripped the featherless hawks apart. Across Japan, many Stain followers celebrated the death of their idol's killer. It had been a juicy and excruciating way to go, which filled them with joy. Meanwhile, on other screens, people could see as Dabi kicked Endeavor to the ground and began scorching him from the legs up, the #1 hero begging for it to stop. And at that moment, Dabi's great dance began. First, his hair was returned to its original white, and just after, his real name was spoken out for all across the nation to hear, Toya Todoroki. Far away in the Todoroki household, the siblings could only stare at the TV in complete despair. Their brother, presumed dead long ago, had survived and become a murdering villain. But it was even worse for someone in a hospital, the mother of the Todorokis, Rei. She was able to see a different broadcast, one that seemed to be made just for her. One that had her eldest son claiming to be guilty of many cases of homicide. But in reality, this was the second broadcast being shown simultaneously in parallel to the one that was live. In it, Toya denounced his entire family history and how he had been deemed a failure. But even then, his flames were still Endeavor's. The past never forgets as you reap what you sow. Soon, hell enveloped Endeavor and swallowed him whole, the blue flames slowly dissipating right after nothing was left for them to burn. Minutes later, as he arrived back at Villainy Reforged HQ, the game company that the League had recently started, he was quickly intercepted by a very pissed-off Shigaraki.
What the hell, dude? I know that you had daddy issues as well, but I didn't think that you would just perform your whole act live. Do you know how bad this whole situation is going to be now? A PR disaster, that's what. Villainy Reforged cannot condone your actions, and as so, you are hereby fired. Your interests are clearly not in line with the company, so I have to state all that now in a public apology. You seriously have no idea how bad this is. We were about to announce our acquisition of Outer Sloth Studios on our next Gentle video, and you blew it all away for that shitty cringe dance of yours. Just get out. Fine by me.
Dabi responded. He couldn't care less about being a part of Shigaraki's game plan anymore.
But before my unemployment check reaches me, I might as well get rid of my accomplice. You're what now?
Shigaraki asked in pure confusion. Lucky for the eldest Todoroki, the lizard man that had helped him get everything up and ready to go had come out of the building alongside some of the other League members. It would be as easy as counting from 1 to 3. In an instant, he threw himself against Spinner and kicked him into the air. Dabi's flames were more than ready to make some finger-licking fried lizard tonight. He might have overdone it though, as he accidentally, or most likely on purpose, put the intensity of the flames at max capacity, which disintegrated poor Spinner to the bone and soon after to atoms. Not even Shigaraki would be able to bring him back now. The entirety of the League cried out for Spinner as Shigaraki pummeled the living shit out of the now proclaimed Toya Todoroki. It didn't take much to defeat the charred man in submission, and right after doing so, Shigaraki flicked a quirk erasing bullet at him for good riddance. There wouldn't be any more dancing on this floor. The next day, Shigaraki gave out a public apology and handed the now quirkless Dabi to the authorities. It was a sign of good faith from him and, in a way, also one of revenge for his lost friend. Dabi was then taken to Tartarus prison, and about a week later, he was executed by his own mother, piercing his skull with an ice spike. She then took her own life afterward. Weeks passed, and as things calmed down, Villainy Reforged felt that it was time to release their next video, and so they did. And in the premiere style, it was shown to the masses.
Gentle video.
The screens all over the web heard as the broadcast began.
Good day to all, and welcome to the 4th installment of the Gentle video series, where we announce the latest news concerning the Villainy Reforged company. As you may all know, I'm Gentle Criminal, your community manager in these trying times. Now get your teacups ready because today you are in for a treat. Let's begin.
The screen turned black right after, and all the viewers awaited the first announcement. Many concept arts were then shown. It was very similar to a game that a lot of people already loved, one called Among Me. And just at that instant, we were able to see Gentle Criminal once more, now drinking his black tea before continuing with the announcement.
We at Villainy Reforged are proud to reveal that we have acquired Outer Sloth Studios, and as so, we have begun development for the hit game sequel for Among Me. Not much can be said at the moment, but we do have a title ready, Among You. This beautiful venting game will be reaching your phone sometime next year, so be sure to tell your friends and look out for anyone acting sus. Otherwise, you might end up minced into a pie.
The screen once more went black, but now in the middle we could see a little toga rolling to collect blood droplets, similar to a loading screen. But soon, this ended as she put them all into a cup and slurped it all down in one go. The screen then changed to show Shigaraki.
Good day, everyone. It's Shigaraki here once more to give you an update on our main title, Reborn to Decay. Due to unforeseen circumstances in development, we will have to confirm that an indefinite delay is now upon us. But don't feel bad. It's better to release a polished game over one riddled with bugs. Here at Villainy Reforged, we believe that a game should be a complete experience out of the package. And so we will not be releasing our games until they are well baked and ready to be enjoyed. I would also like to confirm that all major DLCs released will be free of charge. Everyone will be able to experience everything together, so look up to it in the future. And with that, I'll take my leave until the decay eats us whole.
And as he finished, the video screen showed a decay effect to signify that this section was over. Soon, a section with Twice was shown in which he, alongside Little Toga, showed off the company's merch while also not forgetting to tell them to donate blood to the Crimson Cross Association. Villainy Reforged had made a deal with them not long ago, promising them free advertisement in exchange for a new donation option to donate an extra small canister filled with blood for Toga. This way, the little vampire would never be thirsty again. Obviously, all the canisters that could arrive would be checked by Dr. Garaki first, and once confirmed as safe, then the little one would be able to drink them later as she pleased. Then came a section with Magni responding to the community's most asked questions. The Reforged Q&A. Only the top 20 would be answered due to time constraints. Still, the rest were actually responded to on social media posts so everyone could enjoy getting their questions answered. And so, as that ended, we came back once more to the majestic tea-loving god known as Gentle Criminal. By now, he had finished his tea and was ready to conclude the video.
Did you all have fun? Was it a great thrill? I'm sure it was, but don't hesitate to tell us yourselves. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to stay up to date with all news Villainy Reforged related. And with that, all...
But suddenly, the screen dramatically changed to Gentle Criminal's teacup shattering into the floor.
What's this? A new announcement approaches,
he exclaimed. His acting had been on point. Then a trailer showed a game never before seen. In it, a person would kill hordes of enemies and gather quirks and upgrades as they leveled up. It soon became quite hectic, and the survivor was killed off. The fast-paced arcade survival game that had been shown attracted the viewer's attention instantly.
Indeed! Our secret project is finally revealed. Quirk Survival will be released on December 28th for all compatible smartphones, so be sure to check it out. And with that, this video is over. Take care, and until next time, remain elegant. Gentle conclusion.
Many gamers across Japan cheered after the announcement, and soon after, it was trending everywhere. Just like the times prior, Villainy Reforged broke the internet once more. Sadly, this didn't last long, as midway through the party at the company HQ, Dr. Garaki informed Shigaraki that the United States had sent their top 3 heroes overseas to deal with Shigaraki, and they were well on their way. At best, only 2 hours remained until their arrival, and hearing this, the former symbol of fear decided to take matters into his own hands quickly so he could resume the party with his friends. And just like that, he located Stars and Stripes, teleported behind her, and before she could react, he stole a new order.
Neat. Now I possess the quirk with the most potential. Now, what should I order first?
Shigaraki thought to himself. The other 2 heroes that were alongside Stars and Stripes tried to attack right after, but Shigaraki easily evaded them and took their quirks as well. One of them had a storm quirk, while the other one had something way more interesting.
A nanotechnology quirk. America, you've truly outdone yourself,
Shigaraki exclaimed as the nanobots began to flow over his hoodie. He could create anything he could imagine with them now. He then jumped off the aircraft and decided to use New Order to deal with them. He first shouted the names of all the people in front of him, and then he gave out a command.
The 6 people I just named in front of me will be sent back home immediately,
he ordered, and they instantly teleported back to the American continent. The 3 aircraft, though, remained in place and then began to fall down to the ocean below. Shigaraki destroyed them a second or so later to not risk it.
Whoa, this quirk is sick. Well, better get back before the others start to worry. And most important of all, I still need to settle the score with Twice for outing me as an imposter last time,
he said to himself, and then teleported back to the League after party. Honey is a free browser add-on available on Google, Opera, Firefox, Safari. If it's a browser, it has Honey. Honey automatically saves you money when you check out on sites like Amazon, Papa John's, and Kohl's. Wherever you shop, it's a good chance that Honey can save you money. All you have to do when you're checking out at these stores is to click that little orange button and it will scan the entire internet and find discount codes for you. If there is a coupon code, they will find it. And if there's not a coupon code, you can rest assured that you are getting the best price possible. If you install Honey right now, you can save like $50 to $100 on your shopping, doing nothing. There's literally no reason not to install Honey. It takes 2 clicks. 10 million people use it, 100,000 5-star reviews. Unless you hate money, you should install Honey. Another day had begun, and the chestnut-colored hair girl that we all know so well was getting ready for yet another day at Corsican Academy. She had been going early every day to be as responsible as possible. She made her own breakfast with the extra groceries that Aizawa-sensei had brought her the other day, allowing her to enjoy some chocolate lover's pancakes. She also made herself a bento for later in the day since the scholarship did not cover the cafeteria. But even then, she wasn't sad because of it. Quite the contrary, in fact. This allowed her to cook more, which in turn made her experience more combinations, and this was exciting to her. Once everything was accounted for, she picked up her book bag, one she had bought by herself at the mall, and she exited the apartment. As she walked, the froggy pin she had on her book bag swayed back and forth. It was a minor detail she had gotten a few weeks back, and she would never forget what it meant.
Hey, kiddo.
Aizawa waved at her as they both intercepted each other.
Aizawa-sensei!
Uraka said as she hugged her former teacher tightly.
And Eri too! Good morning!
She added while giving her hand to the little one, who then grabbed it.
You seem quite lively today. Any reason for it?
Aizawa then asked.
Of course I am! I aced my quantum physics test! While I ate breakfast, the results were posted on Corsican.web, and I was among the top students in my class! I got a 95!
Uraka's eyes shined as her current confidence was through the roof.
Congrats. Keep it up, and you'll be invited to join the Senate students in no time.
He added while patting her for a job well done.
Deku helped me though, so he deserves some credit.
She then stated it wasn't just her hard work that had gotten her this far.
Without his help, I would have never understood any of the principles. And that's without counting that he helped me to catch up on the entire term studies that I missed. He's even stayed over some nights to help me understand them. So that's why he passed all of them with flying colors. Maybe he should try to be a teacher.
The girl then began to ponder what a Deku-sensei would even look like, so she remained in thought momentarily.
That Midoriya, he never changes.
Yeah, ever!
She said, and then she was reminded of something.
Also, what the hell, Aizawa-sensei? What I was being given at UA wasn't up to par with the Corsican Academy standard. For being the #1 school, you guys sure lacked a lot.
She exclaimed to her former teacher with a pouty face. It had been quite embarrassing to arrive at a new school just to see that everything you were learning in the previous one was behind by many grades.
The #1 hero school,
He corrected.
UA was never going to win in all matters outside of hero training. And even then, it wouldn't have been my or any of the other teachers' fault. Blame the lackluster curriculum. That's what was holding us back.
Aizawa explained to his pouting student, and right after, he gave her a light chop to the top of her head, which made her flinch. But right after, Eri replicated it, and Aizawa began to laugh. The conversation between them continued for a while until Uraraka reached the Corsican Academy gate, and at that point, she waved at him and went on till they entered the school. Aizawa could only look at her as she slowly disappeared from view upon entering a crowd of students. He didn't worry though. He was certain that the girl would be fine once more, just like all the days before. Hours later, the news had spread across the entire world. The United States of America had lost its top 3 heroes to the worldwide threat known as Tomura Shigaraki. Their quirks had been stolen, which scared the world over. Knowing that the symbol of fear had been almost unstoppable prior to yesterday had been terrifying enough. But now he also had New Order on his arsenal. It only got worse as it all officially came out to the public, and many nations decided to break off their connections to Japan. In contrast, others tried to appeal to Shigaraki by offering him the chance to sell his games to the outside world. This led to the creation of branch studios working for Villainy Reforged. These new ones would be in charge of the localization in their respective countries. Some people protested against the absurd decisions that were being made, but most remained quiet. If this was what it took to keep their everyday lives, then it was the best path to take. On that very night, Izuku Midoriya once more found himself inside the white void alongside Hagoromo. But not like before, there were 8 other people alongside him. It was unknown to him due to All Might never going too deep into it, but these were the vestiges of One For All. After all this time, they were finally ready to reveal themselves to the boy.
It seems that you brought some friends this time around,
Hagoromo said while looking over all the peculiar individuals. Friends? I don't even know who they are! I thought you brought them yourself! The boy exclaimed while looking at the weird bunch.
Forgive our intrusion, but we can no longer bear just to spectate.
A man with white hair told Izuku. This was the first user of One For All, Yoichi Shigaraki. We can no longer watch, so that's why we're here, Izuku Midoriya.
We vestiges of One for All have chosen you to be worthy enough to use our power.
A tall, beautiful lady with black hair then added. Deku could only stare in awe at not only what she just said, but also the apparent similarity this woman possessed with his mother from years ago before she gained weight. The rest of the users presented themselves to Deku, excluding the Golden Aura one, and with time it was made clear, Izuku Midoriya was chosen to bear the full power of One for All, to be able to use all the stored up quirks within it like no other user ever did. Without knowing it, he had already accessed Float to save himself an Eri, the quirk belonging to the 7th user of One for All, Nana Shimura. Next, he would need to unlock the rest of the stored-up quirks in the hopes of beating Shigaraki. The first user didn't have much to give, as he was mostly the storage plus amplifier. The second user refused to reveal his, as he preferred for his overwhelming quirk to be learned last. The third user would teach him how to wield his quirk known as Fa-Jin, which would allow him to build up and store kinetic energy as he moved. This energy could then be released at an explosive burst of speed and power. The fourth user, who presented himself as Hikage Shinamori, would teach him how to use the quirk known as Danger Sense, which would allow Izuku to detect nearby threats. The fifth user name-dropped himself as Daigoro Banjo, and from him, Deku would learn to harness the quirk Black Whip. This quirk would allow him to produce tendrils of dark energy that could be used for long-range grappling and increased mobility. N, the sixth user, was next, and from him, Midoriya would learn the quirk's Smokescreen. The quirk would allow him to generate thick clouds of smoke from his body to obscure the opponent's vision. Nana Shimura then walked over to Izuku Midoriya and promised him that together they would master Float to the point of someday feeling as natural as walking. She had been Toshinori's master, so in a way, Deku was now her grand student. All the users that could speak had spoken, and only the Golden Aura one remained. Izuku was then told that this was All Might's vestige, but due to him lacking a quirk, this was all that remained after his death. He would always lack a solid form, and he wouldn't be able to communicate, which saddened Deku immensely. He held it in, but he truly wanted to have had the chance to meet his teacher once more. But this was never meant to be. He took his time to compose himself, and once he was ready, he turned towards the others and accepted their deal. He would master One for All and take care of Shigaraki once and for all.
You would still lack some technique to go alongside those, young one,
Hagoromo commented, which made Izuku look over to him instead.
After your previous encounter with the current holder of All for One, it was clear that you were nowhere near his level. I believe that if you were to combine your teaching with the vestiges alongside those that I can bring, you could very well complete your final task.
The Sage of the Six Paths had stretched his hand towards the boy beneath. Deku smiled and stretched out his hand to meet it, and they shook them in agreement. I would be honored to gain more knowledge from you and your world, Hagoromo Otsutsuki. And so, the long training journey for Izuku Midoriya commenced. From now until a very distant future, he'd be training alongside them in his dreams to perfect those abilities that were granted to him. It would be a great sacrifice, but he would do his best to wipe Shigaraki's tyranny from this world. Far away at Dr. Garaki's lab, Shigaraki was testing the limits of New Order. He now stood inside a glass cage so the doctor could analyze his capabilities.
I, Tomer Shigaraki, am no longer tied to this realm. I, Tomer Shigaraki, can access the realm between realities.
As those two orders were given, the glass wall in front of him shattered into many invisible shards to the rest of the world. But not to Shigaraki. He could see the doorway waiting to be crossed, so he took the chance to begin walking to it.
Time to see what those other worlds have to show me.
This was the last thought that crossed his mind before he disappeared from reality. Indeed, Shigaraki had now gained the ability to visit a realm that housed an infinite amount of alternate universes. Thank you all for indulging yourselves in all this information thus far. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, there are a few more things that I'd like to go over before the video ends. If you're in the mood for some great storytelling, We the Celestials has you covered. Our We the Celestials, My Hero Academia, and Naruto What If channels retell the story of their namesake anime with a twist. Check it out if you're interested. Now, on behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank everyone involved in today's excellent content production. Their details can be found in the description below. Lastly, if you're interested in what we do here at We the Celestials, I'd like to extend an invitation to join the team. The only caveat is that we only accept members from 16 years old to join our crew. You can sign up for whichever category fulfills your interest by joining the recruitment Discord using the link in the description below. We're always looking for members to join us. And if you want more content from me, check out my live streams on Twitch at TrinaDoHeart, and also my other social media, YouTube and Twitter as well. Well, that's it from us for today's video, so thank you all for watching, and have a great day!